Here on the right, we have him at Michigan, and then here on the left, we have him currently at the Buccaneers training camp. One of the first things that you could already see the difference of is, he gets to the back of the drop, and notice how here when he hitches into it, you can see how his overall base is a lot closer in comparison to here where he hitches into it and he gets a lot longer step. You can see where he keeps that front foot off the ground for a little bit longer. It's something that I talk to a lot of quarterbacks about as well, and being able to get that front foot down. You don't want to end up overstriding too much especially when you go into throwing the deep ball. I think it impacts it. He still ends up being able to throw the ball pretty long here, and he has in the past taken a pretty long stride in his deeper throws, but you can see he's been working on this to get that foot down, and then from there really transfers the weight forward and is able to control that front leg a lot more. So obviously this isn't a game situation, so the mechanics might be a little bit more tuned in, shifting his weight off that back leg and getting a nice rotation there. And then as he's shifting on that front leg, doing a great job of just being able to control it and not going into too much of extension within that front leg. So you can see here, he has a pretty bent leg as well as he gets that front foot down. And then as he drives the leg through, he really extends a lot in that leg, which causes a stopping of the hips and makes it so you end up having to use a lot more arm. At the end of the day, he is 6'4", so he was gifted with a lot of natural arm strength. But he was able to, really work on his mechanics and I think do a better job of being able to use his whole body, which is why he's been able to have a long, prosperous career instead of just a super short, career. And I think some of the guys that, don't consistently work on the mechanics end up having more arm issues and things like that, where he's done a great job being able to take care of his body to make sure that doesn't end up being an issue for him. This is him again going through a nice little 3-step drop, gets the ball down. You can see, we'll go and look at his release time from what it was before. Let's say he leaves the hand here at 151, and let's say it's out of his hands at 151.70. In comparison to here, it's out of it 466.46 to 75. And so, he's able to definitely shorten down his release a good amount here. So he went from, let's see, 0.29 here on the left and 0.37 on the right. It's a deeper throw, so you already know it's going to end up being a little bit more time when in the release when you make a deeper throw, but still having in that 0.37, that's a great overall release time. It's really, really fast, where on the left, in that 0.29 area is also, great. If he got into, probably in his deep throws, he might be closer to maybe a 0.33. Still a little bit quicker though in his release, a little bit more efficient in, as he was getting the ball back, being able to really transition the nose of the football to come forward and through very, very quickly. I think that's something that he does just so well. As he's going back, he doesn't necessarily really get that ball to load here in that 90 position. He kind of keeps the nose of the football facing down to then make it so then he's able to just rotate right through, drive the elbow through as he's coming forward. And you could also see how he kind of pushes off that back leg and rotates off that back knee. See how he pushes first, right? So push right there, and then rotation off that back leg, and that makes it so now he gets that full extension in that back hip. And it's very important to be able to fully extend, like you're pushing off. I always compare it to like as you're sprinting. I work a lot on my sprinting as well, and I could feel when I push off that back leg well, how it does feel like you're almost pushing yourself forward when you're sprinting, and that helps you get in that rotation. And you can see where his front leg is too in comparison to where it was before. See how early he gets into this extension on that on that front leg. He used to, even when he was in college, he did a really good job of using that back leg to be able to push off, and I think there's a lot of similarities there to what he currently does with his back leg to what he used to do with his back leg. He's just changed up that front foot and how it extends instead of kind of rotates through now, where it used to extend a lot more. He changed also the position when he finishes. So he used to finish and really pull down a lot more with that hand and lean over to the side a little bit more, where now he stays a little bit more upright and keeps that front hand a little bit higher up overall as he's coming through. Also, he gets a great wrist flick. You can't see as much of the wrist flick as he did before. He does a great job of getting full extension through the elbow there. Now I'm just going into what he just does very naturally himself. Before he did a great job getting great extension in the elbow. Now he does a great job getting full extension in the elbow. Great internal rotation in the shoulder. He works so much on range of motion through the shoulder, controlling of the body, controlling of the core, doesn't use a lot of heavy weights, use a lot of elastic bands, and that's exactly how our program is set up to be.